Boomers are narcissists, millennials are spoiled, Gen Zers are lazy. Those are assumptions they make about people born around the same time that basically would have the same values.
There's a new book, The Generation Myth, Why When You Are Born Matters Less Than You Think. Bobby Duffy argues that our national generational identities are not fixed, but fluid, reforming throughout our lives.
And he joins us live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be here.
I've always thought it was a little bit ridiculous that they're like, oh, all these boomers are the same, all these Gen X. I mean, really, you could say that about any set group of people. Why do you think it becomes a generational thing that they classify people?
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting question. It's when you think about it, it's vast swathes of the population that we tried to sum up in one or two adjectives, as your piece outlined. And I think it's partly that there is some truth in it, that when you're born does matter. And we do have more in common with people who went through similar experiences to us in their formative years. But then we also like to tell ourselves these stories about who we are and who we're not. And it does tend to get corrupted into really simplistic analysis. And that's partly because people have things to sell around generations. They want to tell you that the latest generation is very different in order to sell you a solution to how you can engage with that generation or sell them stuff. So there are kind of financial incentives to exaggerate the differences between generations, but it's also a good story. So that's why you see lots of headlines and articles, because we end up clicking on those links about what's the latest thing millennials have killed, or how baby boomers are selfish and have ruined everything.
Yeah, one of the quips you said that I hadn't actually heard this. The millennials are known for like killing stuff, like the idea of marriage and napkins. What?
Yeah, apparently they've killed the napkin industry, according to one headline. We could talk for several hours about
really
all the things that millennials are supposed to have killed. It's partly bad timing, unlucky timing for millennials, because they came of age into that kind of younger age group, young adults, late teens, just as the internet was taking off and social media was taking off. So it was really easy to share these kind of tropes and memes about that as a generation. And it kind of reflects a constant of human history, that we always think the latest generation of young people are the worst ever. They're weird or wrong. And that you can take that all the way back to Socrates, who had a big, long diatribe about young people in his day, thinking they were lazy, loved luxury, no respect for their elders. And you can basically take it through every era of history where young people are always denigrated by grown-ups.
And along that theme, though, you also write that the idea that younger people tend to be more liberal and that older people tend to be conservative is also not accurate.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's one of these things about generations, is there's some truth in it. So we should take it seriously. But the trouble is it gets exaggerated and simplified into these stereotypes, particularly on things like climate change, where there's this narrative that young people are the only ones who care and older people don't care about climate change. So when Time magazine made Greta Thunberg their person of the year, they called her an avatar in a generational battle between old and young. But when I look at the data on older people's concern about the environment and what they're actually doing to protect the environment, there's not nearly as big a difference as is made out. And that's really important, because we need to all be unified and act on environmental issues or climate change. And what we're doing is exaggerating differences between age groups and creating this sense of division that isn't really there.
So rather than, what do you say people should do instead? Is it really just something like when you get older, you're going to be a certain way, and when you're younger, you have certain ideas, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a generational thing?
Yeah, that's a really important part of it. So in the book, I talk about there's effectively just three effects that explain all change in societies and how we adapt as individuals. One is cohort effects, which are where generations are different from each other and stay different from each other. But as you say, there's also life cycle effects, which are we change as we age and go through different life stages that pull us back into line with previous generations. We tend to come into line when you leave home, get a job, have kids, get married, and retire, those types of things. But then there's also a third effect, which are called period effects, which things happen and affect all of us to some degree, and they also change society. So things like a pandemic is a great example of a period effect where everyone is affected to some degree. And really, societal change is an interaction, complex interaction between those three types of effects. And so the trick is really to think, what type of effect am I seeing here? Is this really a big generational change, or are we just talking about something that's about youth, young people being different? And they've always been different on these types of factors. And having that kind of mental map in mind, that little trick of, is this a period, cohort, or life cycle effect, is really helpful in sorting out the myths from the reality.
A really interesting topic here. Again, the book is called The Generation Myth, and you can follow Bobby Duffy on Twitter. There is his information. Bobby, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Great to be here.